Deandra Eftekar. I'm a student at Nashville State, and I'm in the OTA program. I'm going to talk about a couple of strength and coordination scenarios. The first one is a male client who has impaired upper body gross motor coordination following a motor vehicle accident with multiple fractures of the upper extremities. And our goal for him is to increase coordination. My prep activity for this male is we're gonna place some objects of varying sizes, weights, kinds. I mean, we have all different kinds of materials here into this. I guess you would call it like a folding closet shelf. And this is super easy, kind of cheap. It can fold up. I could bring this anywhere to any treatment setting, which would be really helpful for a number of people. This prep activity, we would have instructed the client to pick up a variety of different things. So let's start with, we have a candle here. It's kind of heavy, it's pretty weighted, it's unused, so it's brand new and pretty heavy. And then we're gonna encourage him with controlled movements as much as possible to place the heavier items, I would say, towards the bottom. And we want it really controlled. I don't want him to just kind of throw things in there. I want to practice controlled movements. If he has to do an assisted active range of motion with his uninjured arm to achieve that, that's totally fine too. It doesn't tell us in the scenario the level of injury that we have. It just says multiple fractures. I don't know if that's healed yet or not. So we would grade this up or down depending on where we are in the healing process. So for instance, we have a pair of shoes here. I would want these smoothly and correctly put in here. Let's try one of the lighter objects, maybe get some more range of motion up to the top. Okay, we have a really light item here, so this is not necessarily about the weight that can be held, but the range of motion that can be completed. So a super light item, controlled movement, assisted or not. Let's try to use our full range of motion in this shoulder, in this upper arm, and in this lower arm and hand, all together up to the top. So that would be our prep activity. You could do, if this was aimed towards like laundry, folded t-shirts, I kind of wanted a variety of things so that we could practice reaching endurance with light items and heavy items. Range of motion, we're warming up the shoulder and arm muscles, preparing them for an occupation-based activity. And my occupation-based activity would be one of two things, depending on what the client wanted to work on. So I would either choose, for him, I would say IADLs. So my ideas for that were putting away groceries after grocery shopping, or actually being able to reach the items in the shelves at the grocery store to pick them up and put them in a cart. So we can practice for that. That would work the same way at home, putting the groceries away, taking things out of your bags, putting them up on your shelves, into your refrigerator, whatever that may be. I mean, we have a lower, and you could even lower this. My curtain rod happens to be high up in my home, but in different treatment settings, we could maybe get even a rolling rack to hang this on to make it a little lower or a little higher, whatever it needs to be for that person. Also not sure of his height, so that would kind of enter into my consideration for practice. Or the second thing this could be used for is putting laundry away in your shelves, your closet, your drawers. We need that range of motion from here to here with those arms to be able to do these IADL tasks. This would work for, I mean, many other things, garage organization, whatever it may be, but this is definitely for ADLs or IADLs, and it is going to help with endurance, range of motion, and warming up the arms for your occupation-based activity. Hi, I'm Deandra Eftekar. I'm a student at Nashville State in the Occupational Therapy Assistant Program, and I'm going to show you a prep activity for a client who has 3 out of 5 strength of finger flexors following surgery for carpal tunnel syndrome, and our goal for her is to increase strength. Our prep activity for this client is going to be some towel squeezes and finger walking. So towel squeezes, pretty self-explanatory. We're going to roll this towel up like a burrito, and we'll just say it's her right hand. You want your client to be able to grasp this, and as tolerated, they're going to hold the towel with one hand, squeeze 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release, relax. Squeeze 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release. You'd have them do that, I would say 10 times if they can tolerate it. And I want them to switch to this direction as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, squeeze, release, okay? We can make this a little easier if that's too difficult, less of a roll, unfold it and kind of roll it that way. This is a little lighter, less of a squeeze, less material rolled up, so the squeeze won't have to be as hard. We can also make it a little harder if the client is having too easy of a time with that. Something a little firmer. I have a hot water bottle here that's empty. That can be rolled up. This is going to be way more of a challenge. So ignoring this part, you can still grab an end of it. That won't put so much pressure here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release. It's a lot more challenging, and your client, my client, someone's client may need that. So we're gonna do either of these 10 times as tolerated. This mimics a gripping and squeezing motion on something a little harder without the discomfort of a hard tool. We want to increase the strength in the fingers, so squeezing is really good for that. Another thing that can be helpful is twisting. We can grab this towel this way, even help with the unaffected hand. Twist, hold, twist, hold, twist, hold. You're getting a lot of range of motion in the wrist, the whole hand, and the finger flexors that way. It's not just the finger flexors. I think the whole thing needs to be able to work together to get back to our occupation-based activity. Another thing that can be helpful, if these things can't really be tolerated yet, if that's too painful, if that's too hard, we can start with finger walking. So literally just as it sounds, finger walking. Might look awkward, might seem silly, but that could be a really helpful activity for prep for somebody who's having a hard time gripping and squeezing. If we're, again, the scenario does not tell me if we are just out of surgery or if we're, ready to get back to everything. So different levels of prep activity may be needed. This prep activity I have aimed towards leisure. So gardening specifically. I don't actually have real gardening tools, so we're going to pretend this salad scoop and this cake spatula are gardening tools. our towel squeezing mimics being able to scoop and hold with your shovel, your trowel, your whatever you're using. Also, you're going to need to, even if you're not holding something that way, your finger flexors will be prepped and ready to hold a more flat tool, like a, I don't know, what are they called? The thing that makes the seeds happen. And so if this woman, let's say her leisure activity is gardening, we want to get her back to doing that, and we want her hands to feel comfortable doing that. So these prep activities would be great for an occupation-based activity of gardening.